Hello and welcome to another episode of Community Cast. This sent in by the wonderful blue player today. But first up, allow me to introduce to you the red Protoss player. Spawning in the upper left hand corner of Akalon Waste. His name is Jockel! Like Jockel, but from Scotland. Yes! Had that joke in mind for about 4 days now. Hope you all enjoyed it. And his opponent here with the KEGS tag is the player that sent me this replay. He is a long time fan of mine and also someone I consider a very close friend. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Magico! So this cold is still ravaging me, but nonetheless we're going to provide some commentary for these games. Why? Because we love it. But first, yeah, there. Doesn't that feel better? My computer's making strange noises. If in the middle of this recording we explode and I set on fire, please tell someone I love them. I was going to say just anyone, just some stranger on the street, that'll do. Close enough. So Magico is going to be scouting around early on, as will his opponent, looking for any hidden probes, any kind of proxy pylon shenanigans. Meanwhile, Magico going for the 2 gas opening, 2 workers in each, perfectly standard. Meanwhile, his opponent Jockel is going to go for the 1 gas with 3 workers in it, which is less the standard nowadays. It's more efficient to go with the 2 gas with 2 in each than it is with this one gas with 3 workers in it. Also means your opponent can't block this, and it gives them less of an idea of what you're doing. But as it is, Jockel's going to be taking that second one anyway, and potentially going into some heavy tech early on. Magico also with the option to do that once the Cybernetics core is done. We could easily see from Magico an extra worker in each of these gases. We could see a Stargate. We'll have to watch for a pylon placement. That's really what you want to look at. Is there a pylon over here? Is there a pylon right behind here? If so, could be seeing some hidden tech. Just something a little bit less likely to be seen. As it is, Jockel now with the scout at roughly the same time as Magico. Magico just nips in, sees Cybernetics core, sees pylon at the back, and is going to check for any hidden tech around the sides of his opponent's base. Meanwhile, Jockel doing much the same. Now, neither player, I feel like, will show their hand before the opponent's gone. Finally remember to open the production tab. Okay, didn't take me long. Only 420. Ah, blazing. I'm cool. The kids like me. No, they don't. So, Pro going to get taken out on both sides, which is now going to allow the tech buildings to go down. What will we see? Well, we're going to see a Stargate from Jockel. It was going to happen. It's a PvP. And all Protoss players are contractually obliged to go Stargate in PvP. At least one of them has to do it. Magico, meanwhile, getting out the early Mothership core and going for an expansion. Now, this is going to be a little bit risky. This is the kind of play I like to see in Protoss vs Protoss matchups. This is what I want to see more people doing. That said, I understand why it doesn't happen. Because, excuse me, this is a very risky proposition. Taking this base when you have no idea at this point what your opponent's doing. You've not seen any tech buildings, you've not seen any amount of gateways. You don't know if he's going to pressure you, and if he does, he's going to have more than you. Now at this point we've got 2 sentries and a zealot. Magico is just not going to be able to deal with these stalkers right now. He needs more units. He's throwing down more gateways now. He's trying to get some quick take with the robo facility, but this pylon is dead. And there's absolutely nothing Magico can do at this point. He just doesn't have the units to deal with this. Nice getting a pylon down there, though. Stalker's not stopping that. And it does take 2 Stalkers a very long time to kill this off. Now, Mothership core going to get in, start to do some shield damage. But he's going to have to be careful. Does not want to lose that Mothership core. Oh, okay. Jockel is going to back off, though. So everything worked out pretty much peachy keen for Magico. Only lost, what, maybe a probe and Yeah, he lost a probe and he lost a pylon. I'm pretty okay with that at this point in the game. Man, I'm dying here. Who makes me do this? Why are you so mean? Wanna relax. Get over my cold. Up! Up, 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 up! It is time for some Phoenix action. That is right. 2 Phoenixes now heading towards the base of Magico. But, oh my god! Wow, that was quite possibly spotted. Wow, I'm actually dead. This is actually the point at which I die of a cold. And I'm pretty sure Maggie gave me it. So, Maggie, if you're watching this, if you are watching this because you love me to bits, this is still your fault. So, Magico now aware of those Phoenixes, even if he didn't see them as he passed them before with the hallucinated Phoenix. He's seen the Stargate. Means 3 Stalkers, is that going to be enough? Already we're going to see some probes picked off here. Now, the 3 Stalkers are going to move in, but the Phoenixes have way more movement than this. And, well, there's nothing else to defend. There are only 3 Stalkers. The Phoenixes can theoretically outrun for a while. Sorry, 4 Stalkers. Oh, they're going to get the mothership core! Oh my word! 1 hit point left on that mothership core. 1 hit point left. And a Phoenix was killed. Magico. Oh... You are a lucky, lucky boy. So we do have this expansion going up now for Jockel. Take a look at the probes. Magico is actually behind in terms of probes at this point, but does have the better saturation. So there's a lot of probes right now. Just long distance mining for Jockel. But once that second base gets up and running, Jockel's still going to be in a decent position. I really want to keep a tab on that. Look at this. Magico's catching up now, but it's going to be around and about the same. Phoenix is going to come in and try for a second pass. And they could definitely do something here. These Stalkers are not in the correct position. They need to be more in this area here. Because with them in here, they will not react to units over here. But the Phoenix is actually going to go in and try for a snipe on the mothership core. Which is, I don't think, the way forward. There's too much defending. It could have got a few probes there. And maintained that worker lead. Which, as we all know, is the all-important thing in Protoss versus Protoss. Meanwhile, looks like he wants to go for a pass up into the main, and then right now there is nothing here to defend this. We've got +1 ground weapons on the way for Magico. Twilight Council is finished, no blink as of yet. So, could be for a shift into the +2 upgrades. Meanwhile, well, not really a proxy pylon, a forward pylon going down. Magico, but he's going to lose so many probes here. Instant pull though, so very, very well done, but there's just so much going to die here. And these Stalkers, very, very slow to respond. And the Phoenixes should all get out of here perfectly fine. And they do. And look at this, that is 13 workers killed now, it's 45 to 29. This early second base has done nothing for Magico, because he's just lost so much to this continued harassment, and that is the real risk. That's what I was talking about before my cold decided to kill me. That is the real risk with going for the early expansion, is that all that effort can be for naught if your opponent is very, very skilled at his harass. Meanwhile, seeing a lot of Immortals come out for both players, neither one going into Colossus production, which is kind of strange. For a PvP, that's generally what you expect to see. It's certainly what I expect to see out of Protoss players nowadays. I mean, obviously, I felt with Jockel, he'd be going more into Void Rays. Void Rays very, very strong, but nothing out of him but continued Phoenix production and this move into Immortal. Charge, interestingly, is on the way for Jockel rather than Blink. Blink obviously almost done for Magico, and that will give him, well, an advantage, quite simply. He'll be able to blink back. I mean, you can just force these Zealots to waste their charge. They charge forward, and then you blink back, and then they have to run. And it takes them forever. and they all die to your AoE Colossus. If you had any. But Magico does not have any, and that could be where the problem will end up lying. No Templar Archives, interestingly enough, on the way for him either. But it is for his opponent. Upgrades right now, +1 attack to no upgrades. Both players pretty much upgrading at the same rate from here on out though, so there will be a time where both of them are on +1, but then Magico will once again get ahead with the +2 ground weapons. Phoenix is coming back in to do a bit more damage, trying to stay active. And will definitely do that. They will finally get this Mothership Core. Great blink though by Magico, but ultimately only snipes one Phoenix. Well worth it for that Mothership Core kill and continued probe kills. Look at this. Just so much dying right now for Magico. And again, he doesn't even manage to snipe that. That's 21 workers killed. These Phoenixes have certainly been worth their time. So, very, very good play here by Jockel. Also going to be securing his third base. And it seems to me like this is a pretty safe proposition. Magico is gearing up for this 2-base push. But Jockel, by rights, should have enough. Where is that Templar Archives? I know you were building one. Where? Oh, I'm blind. So interestingly enough, Templar Archives is done, but there's no High Templar. A few High Templar and Storm would absolutely ravish this army. Ravish? Ravage. There we go. Would absolutely ravage this army. I mean, all these zealots would disappear. And instead, okay, we are going to see some Archons coming out now. Archon's also a very, very good choice. And will help him defend this third base location. If we take a quick look, Magico waiting for another production cycle, or at least for that one to finish. He doesn't really have any pylons nearby though. He needs a pylon in this kind of area, or even behind here. Just something to get him into the fight a bit quicker. Right now this pylon is too far away. And with that, that's going to cause a lot of problems. So interesting enough, Protoss shields being researched for these Archons, and we do have Storm also on the way from Jockel, and that's just going to give him such a tech advantage. Right now he has a base advantage, he has a tech advantage. The upgrades are going to be very similar. They won't be even, but they'll be similar. Magico only just now going into Colossus, and well, that's just incredibly late. Magico trying to get his army in a decent position here. Jockel also getting ready for it. He does know that there is an army here. He sees a few units, and here comes the army. And, well, Jockel in a great position here to actually defend against it. The only thing is, he won't be able to escape so easily. And I don't know about building this fourth Nexus this early. These Zealots getting into doing a lot of damage. The Stalkers blink on top. And, well. Jockel perhaps trying to just be a bit too greedy here. In this economic advantage, he's losing all of his tech. He didn't have enough Archons. He didn't have Storm quite ready just yet. And we are seeing his army get devastated. Right now, supplies are still very similar, however, but look at all this army that Magico has. He's getting his third base down. The question is, will Jockel's production be able to keep up with it or not? He's to cancel this immediately. Nice photon overcharge there on the Nexus. He's actually catching one Stalker. That Nexus is gone. No cancel there. Third base going up for Magico. And that was a nicely timed attack. However, he needs to press on with this. He absolutely has to press with this right now. Because if he doesn't, his opponent still has 3 bases way before him. But right now there's only 5 Archons to defend Magico. Magico, get in there. Finish the job. Often I will allow a player to back off and say, no, you should back off, you should take more bases. But right now, you need to get in there. Do not let him use that economic advantage because, look, this is an advantage and it has been for a while. You need to get in there. You need to force something to happen. It's not enough to take down a 4th base as you put down your 3rd. You need to break that 3rd base. Excuse me. You need to break your opponent. Do it as soon as possible. Now, with waiting for production cycles, you're allowing him to use that income to rebuild his army. Do we have any Colossus out? Okay, we've got a Colossus on the way. We've got one moving across. I think this is what Magico was waiting for. But I don't know if that's the right move. I don't know if he's waited too long. Very easily be a problem for Community Cast's favourite Protoss son. Look at the amount of Archons that are out now. Now, the one thing he has in his favour is he does still have the upgrade advantage. He does have that +2 attack. The one Colossus doing a lot of damage here to the Zealots, but look at those Archons. They are going to tear through this army, dealing with these Immortals very, very quickly. The one Colossus still managing to do damage, but beyond that, he is out of units. He's out of time. Great time up there as well, making it harder and harder for these units to escape. Magico having to pull back. He's reinforcing with some Zealots, but one Storm and a few Archon shots just wipes them out. The Colossus is left alone, undefended. One Colossus falls. Second Colossus is out. This is actually a very close fight. The upgrade advantage is the only thing that is keeping Magico in it. He no longer has a supply advantage. We have so many Archons morphing right now. And Magico just cannot press. He cannot push this attack anymore. Right now, income slightly in favour of Magico, which is strange because his opponent has more probes. I guess it's just because his base is, the first base, the main base, is mined out for Jockel at this point, whereas Magico still has just a few minerals there. Second base is still fairly okay, still got a few minutes on those, but then it is going to be a problem. Jockel now needs this fourth base. The one he tried to take earlier, the one that Magico shut down, very well done I might add, but I really feel like if Magico had pressed his advantage there and then, we might have just seen a victory. As it is now, there is still a supply advantage the way of Jockel, and the upgrade advantage will also swing back in his favour. Interestingly enough, he's got +2 attack and +2 shield, whereas his opponent Magico has +2 attack and +2 armour. But, well, with these Archons, that is going to be just so important. That +2 shield is going to keep these alive for so long. Magico's Observer is now dead. Man, my throat is dying. Too much recording, not enough sleep. Warp Prism out for Magico. Oh, but oh, if we had had that many, many moons ago with that first attack. Just here, reinforcing from here instead of all the way over here. How wonderful would that have been? We are going to see a small move out now by Jockel, takes down the Observer, as both players trying to establish their fourth bases. Meanwhile, Jockel already looking towards the future, already looking to take that fifth base, technically on his opponent's side of the map, because I always see the maps carved in half down the centre, like from here. All the way down, rather than across the ways. But nonetheless, he's definitely looking towards it. Wow, he's actually going to take this base as well. So yeah, I like this. I like this a lot from Jockel. But we are seeing little Zealot warp in from Magico. Going to start taking down, well, going to try to start taking down tech buildings, but these Zealots were already ready for them. However, the +2 armor advantage is just so huge without the Archons there, without the Immortals there. And nice shutdown of that. Unfortunately, none of those were producing at the time. But a nice idea by Magico. Even though it didn't pay off, we do have a Dark Shrine, however, from Jockel. So we could potentially see some shenanigans in that regard. We still have this proxy pylon that so far is actually been seen by Jockel. Jockel knows it's there. He just hasn't killed it. Because sometimes you get into this stage where you're trying to do so many things at once, you just don't notice things. You see them, it just doesn't make it in. With that in mind, we see the Warp In of Zealots that is doing some damage to this. However, it will be stopped by this last Zealot and the influx of army from Jockel, and then this pylon will be taken out, no doubt about it. So that's the end of that harassment. However, we still have the Warp Prism up here. It needs to be chased away by these Stalkers. Oh man, Magico. Magico, wake up. Oh, Magico. Losing the Warp Prism there. Very, very poor. And that is actually, I'm just going to say this. That's extremely poor because right now Magico isn't doing anything. not moving out on the map. He's established this base. He's not doing anything attention intensive. That is certainly something he should have reacted to and managed to get out of the way of. And right now, Jockel just has all the advantages again. Look at the income. It is in favour of Jockel. Admittedly not by much, but look at this. 73 harvesters to 59. He's got more bases. He can afford to lose a base at this point. Whereas Magico really can't. If he starts to lose a base, he's going to be so far behind his opponent. That is going to be unreal. If we look at the active forces, right now, the mineral count is in favour of Magico, but that's mostly all in Zealots. His opponent with the gas count, because has all these Archons, and the Archons will deal with the Zealots so effectively. I mean, +3 shields already finished. We only now have +3 ground weapons on the way for Magico. Very, very late. And Magico has decided it is time for the push out. Second Forge is going down for him. But again, a very, very late Second Forge if he wants to get those upgrades going. Jockel, meanwhile, just tearing through, well, everything in this base. These Zealots aren't even attacking. They appear to be on stop command, which is kind of hilarious. And even then, they are killing everything. So, Magico with a big push in. He will get this base. There's no doubt about that. He has the sentries to just force field this ramp off, keep this army at bay. Obviously the Archons do break that, but he doesn't want the Archons to be going in first necessarily. Really wants the Immortals to tank those shots in the beginning. So this base is gone, but I mean, he's lost all of his workers here. Take a look, 73 to 39. And Jockel's still on 4 bases. Magico still on 4 bases. But with that, Jockel, well, Magico is essentially on 2 bases. Or, in fact, let's put our hands up. He's on 1 base. This isn't mining. This has 2 mineral patches. This has no probes. So this is Magico's base right now. Look at that income drop. Whereas we've seen a fluctuation of 200 minerals for Jockel. We've seen Magico's mineral income get halved, whereas Jockel barely felt the loss of that base. And that's the kind of advantage that Jockel really has at this point. Really, when I look at this, Magico has 1 chance left. And that chance is to break this army somehow. He breaks the back of this army, 1 swift engagement, and then just pushes through before Jockel can recover. That is the only option left to him. Meanwhile, Jockel, though, with all the tech of the army, he's got 3 robos, he's got 4 Stargates. This guy can build whatever he wants. Actually building Tempests. He's upgrading air weapons. Because why not? He's so far ahead at this point. He can do full-on tech switches. Look at this. The Tempest just going to be used to harass this army. Needs to be careful, though. That was very sloppy. So now the engagement is forced. Stalkers blink forward. Do you get that Tempest? But we've got big storms coming down for Jockel right on the army of Magico. Magico, though, with a lot of Colossus, is going to start tearing through this. He does have a lot of upgrades. And now the Archon's having to pull back a little bit. Meanwhile, wow, that warping of DTs. That is going to be so much damage, helping out these Colossus. Once again, the Archons really can't engage, and this is what I was talking about, the one big break Magico needed. But he can't afford to chase this army. He needs to really press his advantage. This army can kite for a very long time, which could theoretically let Jockel get that advantage back up at home. As it is, though, Magico is going to chase it down, trying to kill it off. There's no way Jockel can go on and attack with it. He wants to bring it back around up to here and reinforce with his army at home. And I'm well done by Magico, but he's not using it to his fullest. Right now he does have this base down, not yet mining. Doesn't really have the workers for it. He needs to start producing a few more, and we are going to see them get chrono boosted out, so that's good. And he has taken down this base. So he's put a stop to Jockel's play for now, but Jockel will recover. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Jockel, if given time, will recover. This is nice use of the DTs, picking off the cannons here, but right now there are still too many cannons for the DTs to have much of an effect. They are going to come in and try and finish it off. Only one can attack that at any one time, though, and it will fall. The next cannon will fall, and once that's down, these DTs are going to start clearing up, and Jockel not responding quickly enough. Yeah, he does have observers with this army, so these DTs will go down. But still, this is strong play by Magico. If we take a quick look, he's slowly catching up on that work account. But right now, the army supply very much in favour of Jockel, which means Magico once again has to back off. He can't go in and attack. How hurt are these Colossus? We've got 2 hurt ones, but the rest are all fine. What he really needs with this is a bit more of a ground army. Looks like he wants to try and force something here, but it's 148 supply to 171. And some of that is definitely an army, so I don't know if Magico is going to be able to force anything at this point in the game. Another forward pylon is going to go down for Magico. I wouldn't even mind. I'd mind Magico eventually expanding to this base and just using that like a Terran would as a forward staging ground. But here comes the engagement. Archons moving in for Jockel. All these Colossus and Stalkers are clumped up right now, which means the splash damage from the Archons is going to be doing even more damage than it would otherwise. The Tempest from behind coming in, doing the damage. I don't know if Magico has enough to break this. This is so close, but all the Colossus are gone, and that is it. All the Colossus are gone. Magico has no army there anymore. Well played by Jockel as he pushes through there. And now Magico is really hurt. Look at that active force is different. That is insane. If Magico can come back from this, he is actually the reincarnation of Jesus Christ at this point. Either that or he's the reincarnation of, I don't know, BC. Like, seriously. He is so far behind at this point. These Colossus will all die to these Tempests so quickly. Tempest, please. There we go. There's some storms going down. More Archons coming in to help out. Jockel does want to break this base. Now, Magico does have 1 Archon of his own. Jockel very unhappy about that. Yeah, don't know if that's an intentional FU. Certainly don't get the plus, if it is. Don't understand the long distance mining from here either. Jockel almost certainly has enough minerals to build a base. Okay, what do we got? I mean, admittedly, these minerals are going. He needs another base. Yeah, there we go. Jockel finally gets it together. His income has dropped substantially. And that will be a problem for him, but again, it's a recoverable position. All he has to do is defend it. Don't be aggressive. Hold this base. Use the advantage that you've had all game long. Take a quick look. He still definitely has the more harvesters, so at this stage, although Magico right now has the more currently mining bases, they will mine out, and Jockel has the supply advantage, so again, Magico should not be able to make anything happen. Right now, Jockel's still definitely the player with the advantage. And I absolutely have to... How long is this game? Damn it, Magico. Why you send me the long game? Why does no one send me a nice little 6 pool? Hey? Hey? Dying. Actually dying. The things I do for my friends, I swear. So this base is finally up for Jockel, and that is the point at which Magico is going to press the advantage, and Jockel was not positioned correctly for it. The high temples are a bit out of range, but those are good storms. Will the Archons be enough to bust through this? We've got a small time warp there on those zealots, and it is going to give Magico a little bit of an advantage, but it's nowhere near enough. Is there an observer here, however? The DTs are moving through. Oh my god, and there's nothing here just now for Jockel to see them with. So this is actually going to be a big problem for Jockel. Does he have any observers? He's got 4 observers. And none of them are moving into position to deal with this. This is a huge fail on the part of the Red Protoss player. And Magico turns a loss into a victory in that engagement because he lost all his units. That was a real problem for him. And still managed to do a ton of damage just thanks to his opponent not keeping vision with the army. With that in mind, don't know what moth means. Maybe it's Scottish. Because have no doubt, Jockel is 100% Scottish. So Jockel right now scouting around for bases. This has been a very standoffish game for these two players, I have to say. Lots of small engagements, not what you normally expect from PvP. From PvP you normally expect that one pivotal engagement that really just gives one player such a huge advantage that that's the end of it. But this is what late game PvP apparently looks like on the EU ladder. And these zealots being annoying, but will get taken out by DTs, so Magico doesn't have to be too worried about that. Meanwhile, it's all about continuing to establish this mining. We now have 2 bases left on the map that have not been taken. And both players are actually, well, this is a Korea situation. So this is North Korea, and this is South Korea, because this one's higher, obviously. North. It's like northeast Korea. That's not east, that's west. I'm bad at compasses. Ah! Never eat shredded wheat. God dang it. So, both in a situation where really both players want to mine. Magico just doing little pokes with some DTs. Again, just trying to be annoying. But with the cannon there, he's not going to be able to do anything else. I mean, I was going to say to this mineral line, but there's nothing really there. And Jockel with 1 DT is going to start to kill this Nexus. Right now, Magico not responding. He's going to have to get something in there. Could do with some cannons down, much in the same way that Jockel has. He's actually pulling his entire worker line, because there's just no way for him to respond to this. And that is a huge blow to Magico. Once again, I mean, it's going to stop the gas mining from here, and the gas mining is going to be very important. Meanwhile, an attempted poke from Magico has done nothing. But Magico, with a very, very large supply advantage, is now going to press in. And if he can take down this army, if he can take down this base, he certainly has a chance to win this. The Zealots charging in. The Stalker's blinking forward. The Colossus right now hitting a gas, and that's not where you want them to be. They need to be in this engagement. They need to be fighting. The storms are going down, but this is just a little bit of poor control from Magico. And this could lose him this engagement and the game. The Colossus simply not engaging in that fight whatsoever are now going to fall. Oh, Magico. DT's, however, coming in, trying to get some stuff done. But there's observers there for Jockel. And Magico now has dropped to the same supply as his opponent. Meanwhile, this Nexus is gone. The gateways are slowly being whittled away. We've got an observer here, so Jockel, well aware of Magico trying to take this base right now, doesn't have the army to move up. He needs to defend this. Now, with that though, really? Oh my god. He has 28 workers. Where are they? They are all here. Oh my god, Jockel. Jockel. Get him over here. Jockel has no mineral income at this point in the game. He now has 80. He's making more probes as and when he can, but he needs to get these probes down there. They're sitting there. They are not mining a single thing. Here they come. Oh, that was painful for Jockel. So Magico, once again, still managing to just get something out of these engagements. Although he didn't engage the army properly, which could well have seen him gain the victory he needed, did tear down this worker line. And so Jockel's, well, essentially his replacement worker line did take a long time for him to respond to get them here. And as such, Magico once again taking an advantage in this game. So we've got assimilators going down for him here. Finally going to get that gas income going on it again. Gas income is very, very similar, but the mineral income still very much in favour of Magico. And again, we've just neither player with that much of an army at this point, which is a real problem for them. Everything's gone quiet. What I feel like, you know, there was a big engagement, especially with this music going on. It's like the calm after the storm, and then before the next storm. Side storm. I'm funny. So Magico trying to put down a base up here. Does have a DT to defend it, but Jockel has that proxy pylon and a DT there to attack it. So that's going to be interesting to see which player notices which first, essentially. Meanwhile, got another little bit of pressure here by Magico that's going to do absolutely nothing. While a DT ravages his worker line. Oh my god, Magico with nothing to stop that DT. Is now down to a 1-base production. With an attempt at getting this base going. But with no detection here either. Oh, finally the detection is out for Magico up here at this base. So at least he'll be able to stop that. But in the meantime, he has lost this base entirely. And again, we're just seeing pokes back and forth from these players, trying to take down each other's bases. Neither one really wanting to engage head on. With their supplies being so similar, it would be very, very close. So that base of Magico's is 100% dead. He needs to get these workers mining, and right now, to be honest, what's his income drop to? Income's again almost entirely identical. And these DTs, well, they're getting a couple of kills, but the observer is there. He's going to go for as many probe kills as he can. Gets one before he is summarily executed for crimes against the nation of Aya. Actually very hard to breathe with this cold, which I'm sure is why Magico sent me an hour-long replay. Well, I'm assuming it's an hour long, maybe it's an hour and a half long, maybe it just keeps going. It's Acheron Waste, for God's sake. How do you make games last this long? Surely you should have mined out by the 45-minute mark. Anyway, Jockel is moving on up in here, ready to take down this base, and this is going to be a big engagement. This is what it's going to be all about. Jockel moving in to take down this base, but Magico moving in to reinforce. That's a great side storm from Jockel, though. Mothership core is down, but the 2-time warps have already been fired off. The Zealots, though, of Magico tearing everything apart. The Archons are starting to fall here. There are only Zealots and Tempests left right now for Jockel. The supply count is 94 to 51. And I think Magico has done it. He's broken this army. The question is, will he be able to press his advantage if it truly is an advantage at all? Active forces are 3,000 minerals to 175. Jockel with a fuck you, you noob. And he is defeated at the 52-26 mark. Our player Magico takes the victory. Did get lucky at times, but overall, what a game that was. I'm now going to go pour ice down my throat until I stop dying. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again in the future. Love to Magico.